It's Saturday, the 1st of June. Happy summer, happy winter, wherever you are. This is your Solana Daily Alpha. Let's dive into it. So firstly, President Biden vetoes the bill that would allow highly regulated financial firms to custody Bitcoin and crypto. Now, this is kind of confusing because not everyone actually understands what veto means. Long story short, this is negative for crypto. Basically, the SEC at present will still be trying, as far as I can understand it, will still be trying to actually protect consumers and retail investors and people from crypto with rules that they don't tell you what rules there are. So look, I don't care if it's the left or the right that, in terms of political systems, that would actually veto this. It's very negative. It's net negative, insanely negative. Now, a lot of people will be confused about this. Like, as an example, this account says, is this good or bad? I don't even know at this point. And people still don't understand actually what it means. Essentially, the SEC has been there for many, many years, and they've been trying to kind of stop crypto from innovating, but not actually establishing any rules. This is why Coinbase has actually sued them, because there's no regulation details. So they don't know what they're allowed or not allowed to do. And at one stage, I think Coinbase was actually keen on tokenization, as opposed to doing an initial stock offering. They actually wanted to do like a token offering, but it just wasn't possible. That's why it's Coinbase stock. Anyway, Mags thinks that altcoins are going to go up, basically breaking out of this accumulation pattern, a little bit of sideways price action. It looks like consolidation. Consolidation is just that time when people are just buying, selling. It's just a crab market going sideways. And then he's expecting a leg up. And now this next part is probably a little bit of hopium, but if it ends up happening, then it's clearly not hopium. So essentially, if we see a similar surge to the previous range, Bitcoin's looking at $188,000. I don't think it's going to go over $150,000, but I still don't think it's even half done. In terms of watching things short term, I'm not doing any trading. Most people will be wrecked. Basically, BTC goes to 65, 66. If it does, he's interested in putting in some longs. So if you wanted to accumulate some more BTC, you may want to go and put down some limit orders at like 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, and so on. Now here's a take that's very important to understand. As long as memes keep taking all the liquidity, the projects actually building real use cases will continue to suffer with no support attention, as well as lack of liquidity. Long story short, NFTs did this in the last cycle, and they certainly did. And hopefully some solid waves of retail arrive and help the situation a bit. So this is one of the issues with Solana. It's so easy to do anything that you can pull on all this liquidity, and then people will quite often get absolutely destroyed. And when they get destroyed, well, someone will leave. And that's just the nature of these things. So if you have a friend or if you yourself are going to play in this field, just work out a portfolio allocation to memes. And if you kind of blow through it too quickly, then you need to make more money in order to jump back into memes. And maybe it's something small like 5% or 10%, or maybe you're a bit more of a degen. It's like 20% of your portfolio. I'm not giving you a recommendation here. I'm just letting you know that you do need to have some sort of figure, because right now this is getting all the attention for sure, but liquidity will rotate at some stage. Next up, we've got Dupe. They've integrated the DeBridge Finance Bridging widget. So if you just go to Dupe, and then you can see here under Bridge, DeBridge better, and you can just do everything with this widget. DeBridge is definitely the best bridge I've ever used ever. And if you need more information, you have this thread here. Now I've mentioned it before, and hopefully I'll have a chat with Brother and maybe take us through some Meteora positions that he's keen on. However, people are tracking his wallet, so you can always jump on that as well. So he's been doing quite well, but sometimes he doesn't do quite well. This is the nature of, farming. And I don't even know what this meme coin is, Aura, but he's updated everyone on what he's doing, and he fully sold, and he will cry if clearly the market cap goes to like $10 million, because he would have done well. So at the end, made 23 SOL, approx, in 25 hours, and some crazy amount of Meteora points with a 10 SOL investment. So Meteora points, they will equate and actually equal some sort of Meteora token allocation in the future. And this will be the biggest DeFi dApp on Solana. Maybe Camino will be bigger in terms of TVR because they have a lot more blockchains and they can just add Meteora itself. But in terms of a bit of a war or competition, we'll call it a friendly competition between Meteora, Radium, and Orca and others, Meteora will have the most amount of liquidity. So you do want these Meteora points. If you're using MarginFi, you can go and activate Say Dialect, and this is going to give you real-time notifications on your account health. Can be then configured to Telegram. A little bit complex, but worth doing. Right now, the amount of burned Bonk is just over 6.9%. So watch that amount grow over the next year or so. Here are some recent airdrops and their tokens, and if they've gone up or down. Now, obviously, each one has a different time frame, and some are going to be, more bullish than others. We've got Drift, it's up. Pith is up. Parcel's down. Well, you probably know all of these. But essentially, my point is, if you want to lock in profits, you can pretty much work out if it's going to go down pretty quickly after. And it really all comes down to like market cap, use, and if they're onboarding new people or if it's speculation driven. Having said that, Parcel's down and I'm very bullish on Parcel. But let's have a quick look. So Sharky down. I think that's pretty obvious why. Zeus down. They're building something that's still being built. So I can understand why. Wormhole down. DeBridge is actually a better bridge. So, I mean, there's probably a lot of shared infrastructure and stuff like that. That's not really the issue here. Just the valuation was too high. And then Tensor, nothing wrong with Tensor. Tensor's great, but clearly they've got competition and liquidity went to MagicEden, so you can kind of understand it. Whereas these other ones, you can see that there's demand because they're actually growing the user base. They're growing the TVL, they're growing the number of traders, etc. Have you checked out RainFi? No. She absolutely loves RainFi, Mara, and she is the co-founder, so she's bound to do that. But this is very, very cool. And I might actually do it maybe Monday's video. So you can do a magic swap where you have to pay a certain amount of interest, of course. But as an example, you can basically leverage up with USDC into another token, such as Sol, and you have to repay the USDC and the interest in 21 days with any of the USDC that you basically borrowed. And you swap that into Sol. Now, if the Sol price goes up 20%, 30%, you're looking good. You can sell it in the magic swap, pay back your interest, and you make a profit. It's kind of like leverage trading on Drift or Zeta markets, only you've got 21 days in this occasion, 21 days, because Agima Finance is, bullish long-term on providing liquidity. You've got 21 days. So if the price of Sol dipped down in a flash crash and then jumped up, you would be safe. Whereas if you did that on Zeta markets or Drift or Bybit, you would be often liquidated. So check this out. If you want to try and degen with a little bit, I would call this kind of low to medium risk in terms of degenning. I have a feeling that StepN's going to do a little bit better this cycle. And if you want to get involved with StepN Go, then there's going to be too much to cover. Always the way with StepN. I would say one thing that they do well is they give a lot of information to the community. But one thing that they don't do well is you have to go through so many hours of different things to get all the information. It's crazy. It's just too crazy. So have a look at this from Crypto Edgar, and he's got this massive article here. So if you're a good speed reader, you can speed read this and you can get through everything. Or you could probably even just copy, paste it, flick it into ChatGPT and ask for a TLDR. Now's the time to get some diamonds. So 50% extra diamonds with MagicEden if you go and buy either Degenerate Drop Bears or Degenerate Ape High South or just DAA itself. Also, it says there's going to be in the next 48 hours. So you've got maybe just over, I'm not sure exactly how long. Maybe you have like 30 hours or so to be entered into a raffle to win one of 33 Sensei Monolith Collection whitelists. So Sensei has a new collection coming out. This looks really, really cool. And if you want a whitelist spot for it, there'll be 33 randomly raffled off for people that are buying. But the real alpha is the fact that there's 50% of a MagicEden diamond boost happening right now. Now let's have a quick look at Mother Iggy. This is something I covered a few days ago. I was very, very clear with what my intentions were. I was not degenning into anything. The market cap has done really, really well. It's gone up from, I don't know, like 20 down to 10, up to 19, up to 44, something along those lines. So if you did enter, then remember, I'm not going to be all about meme coins, but it just had a lot of attention on the timeline. So I thought it was plus EV. Now, basically what Iggy has been doing is just like learning and just upskilling. So she's just there and putting a whole lot of attention into this. And because of this, the volume is going everywhere. And this is essentially how it's all happened. So she's actually been keen to get amongst it. I had a DM from someone at 4:18 a.m. to say, hey, jump on the space and see if you can help onboard her. Now, I can't onboard you at 4:18. I don't know if you're currently in Oz or in America, but if you need help, Iggy, you can just follow me and then I'll take you through everything. There'll be no expectation of any pay, but I'll teach you everything you need to learn things fast and keep yourself safe and keep your community safe. If so, just send me a DM on Twitter. Now the actionables for the 1st of June, airdrop farm 1 new dApp a day. Just follow Fabiano, give something a go, set up a new wallet, put a little bit of funds in there and just have a go. If you're going to get a token allocation in the future, it's going to be worth it. If not, you're going to learn a new dApp. DCA Sol on Dupe and stake it with Validate.com. I'll also go over quite a bit more on staking next week. Get diamonds on DAA by going to MagicEden and buying for the next 30 or so hours, something along that line. Also, as I mentioned, you have a chance to win a whitelist spot for Sensei's new collection. Learn to use Meteora's DLMM pools. Follow Brother, watch my video on Meteora. This is long-term decent alpha. Use DeBridge Finance, you can use it within Dupe as well. Who knows, but maybe you get more DeBridge points that way. And maybe you may get a Dupe allocation by using it via Dupe's website. And help Iggy learn Solana. Once again, if someone's connected and she needs help, she can just reach out. I'm online 7 days a week, but I will not be online at 4:18 a.m. That's all for today. Catch you Monday.